10 engines wear the same bar and shield, and they could not be more different under the tin. Some of these will run past 200,000 miles on nothing but oil changes and a little respect. 3 of them will leave you stranded on the side of the highway before you ever see 50,000, and the dealer knew it when they sold you the bike. I've had all 10 of these apart on my bench. I've measured the wear, I've seen what grenades and what refuses to. So we're counting down the 7 Harley engines that just will not die, and then the 3 that self-destruct early. And I'm saving the biggest bulletproof legend for number 1. Because if you own it, you should never let it go. Let's start with the survivors. The Milwaukee 8 1114. Now this one surprises people, because it's newer, and everybody assumes newer means more fragile. But the 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 is quietly one of the toughest big twins Harley has built in the last 20 years. The bottom end is stout. The single cam design got rid of the 2 chain-driven tensioners that ate twin cams alive, and the oil-cooled or twin-cooled heads keep the rear cylinder from baking itself. Here's the catch, and here's the part the dealer won't lead with. The 114 runs hot at a stop, especially the rear jug, and it runs lean from the factory to pass emissions. That heat is the only thing standing between you and a 200,000-mile motor. Fix the fueling with a tuner, add a set of high-flow lifters when the originals get noisy around 80,000, and this engine simply does not quit. I've got a customer's 2019 Road Glide on my bench right now with 130,000 on it, original bottom end, cross-hatching still visible in the cylinders. That's a survivor. Let me tell you exactly what to watch on this motor so it gets there. The rear head is the hot one, and if you're throwing a P0261 or P0263 injector code, that's often a lean condition symptom, not a dead injector. Chasing the wrong part costs you $200 at the dealer for nothing. Get a real tune loaded. Target around 13.2 to 13.5 to 1 at cruise, instead of the 15 plus the factory runs to sneak past emissions, and the rear cylinder stops cooking. A stage 1 tune and intake runs you maybe 500 done right. The dealer wants 1,200 and won't even fix the lean condition properly. Do it once, do it right, and this is a lifetime motor. But a strong bottom end means nothing if the cams inside are chewing themselves to pieces, which is exactly the problem the next engine solved. Number 6. The Evolution Sportster, the 1200. People sleep on the Sportster Evo, and that's a mistake. The rubber-mounted 1200 Evolution from the 2004 and up frame is one of the most abuse-proof engines in the whole lineup. Air-cooled, simple, gear-driven cams instead of chains, and a bottom end that shrugs off neglect that would kill a bigger motor. The reason it lasts is the reason nobody talks about it. It's unglamorous. There's no fancy cooling system to fail, no chain tensioner to disintegrate, no complicated electronics. You've got a cam chest driven by gears, and gears don't wear out the way tensioner shoes do. The weak point isn't the engine at all, it's the primary and the clutch if you ride it hard. Keep clean primary fluid in it, roughly every 5,000 miles. And don't let the stator cook, and these things run essentially forever. I've seen 1,200 Sportsters cross 180,000 miles on the original cases. The engine will outlast the frame it's bolted into. That gear-driven cam chest is the whole secret, and it's exactly what the next engine on this list is famous for. Number 5. The Twin Cam 96, but only the gear-driven ones. Now I have to be careful here, because the Twin Cam family is a split personality, and I'll be roasting part of it later in this list. But the Twin Cam 96, when it's been converted to gear drive cams or fitted with a proper hydraulic tensioner upgrade, becomes a genuine long hauler. Out of the factory, the 96 came with spring-loaded plastic cam chain tensioner shoes, and those are the ticking time bomb we'll get to. But the block itself, the crank, the flywheels, that's good iron. Riders who caught the tensioner problem early, swapped in gear drive around 50,000 miles, and kept the oil clean, are the same riders showing me 96s with 160,000 trouble-free miles. The engine was never the problem. The $40 plastic shoe was the problem, and Harley knew it. Fix that one design flaw, and the 96 transforms. And speaking of engines that got the design right from day one, that brings me to the next one. Number 4. The Milwaukee 8 107. The 107 is the workhorse of the modern lineup, and it's aging beautifully. When Harley launched the Milwaukee 8 in 2017, they finally fixed the two things that plagued the twin cam. They went to a single camshaft with a proper hydraulic tensioner that actually lasts, and they gave the 4-valve heads real breathing room. The 107 makes less heat and less stress than its bigger 114 brother because it's not being pushed as hard. That lower state of tune is exactly why it lasts. Keep the primary and transmission fluid fresh. Watch the cam tensioner around 100,000. Not because it's failing, but because that's just good practice. And this engine will carry a touring bike to the moon and back. Quick thing, if this breakdown is saving you a repair bill, hit subscribe so the next one finds you. Now, back to the list, because the engines still coming are the true immortals. Number 3, the Evolution Big Twin, the 1340. Here's where we get into legend territory. The Evolution Big Twin, the 1340 that ran from 1984 to 1999, is the engine that literally saved Harley-Davidson from going under. And it did it by being nearly indestructible. The Evo Big Twin is air-cooled simplicity done right. Aluminum heads and cylinders, a bulletproof bottom end, and, say it with me, gear-driven or single-chain cam simplicity, without the self-destructing tensioner nightmare that came later. These engines don't have the fancy cooling because they don't need it. They run cool, they run forever, and the only things that typically go are the peripherals, the stator, the occasional oil pump seal, wear items. The core of the engine is granite. I've torn down Evos with 220,000 miles that still had usable factory bores. Riders who own a clean Evo touring bike are sitting on an appreciating asset, and the smart ones know it. If you've got one, here's how you keep it that way. Watch your stator output. You want to see around 13.8 to 14.2 volts at the battery at a fast idle. If it's drooping into the 12s, your stator or regulator is on the way out, and that's a $200 part you can do in an afternoon instead of the $600 or $700 a shop quotes. Keep 20 Bosch 50 in the tank. Don't let the oil go past 3,000 miles if you ride hard, and check that the oil pump isn't weeping at the seals. Handle those 3 things, and the Evo simply refuses to die. The Evo is a legend, but there's an even simpler, even tougher engine that predates it, and it's next. Number 2, the shovel head. Yes, really, the well-sorted ones. Now stay with me, because shovel heads have a reputation for leaking and overheating, and the early ones earned it. But a properly rebuilt, well-sorted shovel head from the late 70s through 1984 is one of the most rebuildable, longest-serving engines Harley ever made. And that's the key word. Rebuildable. The shovelhead's magic isn't that it never wears out. It's that when it does, any competent wrench can take the whole thing apart on a kitchen table with hand tools and put it back together better than the factory did. There's no black box electronics, no emissions plumbing, no proprietary dealer software. The design is so simple and so well documented that these engines get passed down through generations. Number 1, the Twin Cam 88. But I mean the counterbalanced B motor. This is going to be controversial, so let me be precise. The twin cam has a bad reputation because of the cam chain tensioner, and it's deserved on the chain-driven A motor. But the counterbalanced Twin Cam 88B, found in the Softail line, is a different animal. When you address the one known weakness, that tensioner, with a gear drive conversion, the 88B becomes arguably the most durable big twin Harley has ever produced. Here's why it earns number 1. The 88 cubic inch displacement is conservative, which means low stress on the pistons and rods. The counterbalancers kill the vibration that loosens bolts and cracks brackets on other engines. And the bottom end, the crank, the cases, the flywheel assembly, is genuinely overbuilt for the power it makes. Do the tensioner delete. Keep clean 20 wash 50 in it. Run a Jasso MA2 rated oil, so your wet clutch stays happy. And I have personally seen these motors cross 240,000 miles on the original bottom end. Not rebuilt, original. If you own a well-maintained Twin Cam 88B and somebody offers to buy it, tell them no. You'll never find another one that cheap that runs that long. That's the immortals. Now let me show you the 3 that break your heart and your wallet before 50,000 miles. Number 3 on the grenade list, the early Twin Cam 88A motor with the original tensioner. I told you the Twin Cam was a split personality. Here's the dark half. The chain-driven Twin Cam 88, from 1999 through the mid-2000s, came with plastic shoe cam chain tensioners that ride against a moving chain. Those shoes wear down. When they wear through, the metal backing grinds into the chain, and metal shavings go straight into your oil pump and your entire engine. The cruel part is the timing. It doesn't fail at 10,000 miles where the warranty would catch it. It fails at 40, 50, 60,000, right after you're on your own. A rider brought me a 2004 Electra Glide, making a sound like a fistful of bolts in a coffee can. The tensioners were gone, the shavings had scored the cam bearings, and what should have been a $40 preventive part turned into a $3,000 teardown. That's not bad luck. That's a known design flaw, Harley shipped anyway. That one at least gives you a warning noise. The next one gives you nothing. Number 2 on the grenade list, the twin-cooled Milwaukee 8 that never gets serviced. Now this is a conditional grenade, and I want to be fair. The twin-cooled Milwaukee 8 is a good engine when it's maintained. But the coolant system that keeps those heads alive is the thing nobody services, and the dealer doesn't remind you, because a cooked head means a big-ticket repair on their lift. The coolant in these systems degrades, the pumps fail silently, and riders who treat it like an air-cooled motor, never touching the coolant, find out the hard way when the rear head warps. I've seen twin-cooled M8s with catastrophic head damage before 60,000 miles, purely from neglect the owner didn't even know was possible. The engine isn't inherently bad. It's that Harley sold a liquid-cooled complexity to an air-cooled audience and never made sure they understood the maintenance. Ignorance grenades this motor, and ignorance is exactly what they were counting on. Number 1 on the grenade list, the first year, first run, Twin Cam 103, in the wrong application. Here's the one that burns me the most, because it dressed up a known problem in bigger numbers and sold it as an upgrade. The early Twin Cam 103s that carried over the same flawed tensioner architecture pushed to more displacement and more heat. In heavy touring bikes that work the engine hardest, those are the ones that combine every weakness at once. More cubic inches means more heat and more load on the same plastic tensioner shoes that were already failing on the smaller 88 and 96. Put that in a fully loaded bagger climbing a grade in July, and you're accelerating the exact failure we already talked about. I've had these come across my bench with tensioner failure, oil pump contamination, and heat-warped components all at once, before 50,000 miles, on a bike the owner babied. The engine wasn't abused. It was designed with a flaw, and then asked to work harder than the version that already had that flaw. That's the definition of leaving reliability on the table by design. So there's your 10. 7 that will outlive you if you respect them, and 3 that were compromised before they ever left Milwaukee. The pattern is impossible to miss. Nearly every Harley that dies young dies from one cheap, known part the factory refused to fix. And nearly every one that lives forever is the one where somebody caught that part in time. That's why high-mileage Harleys keep running long after the paperwork says they shouldn't. If this changed how you see your engine, subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.